Now on CoastTV News.
Taking a stroll in Fenwick Island may soon be both easier and safer, what council is considering.
Debating a school impact fee, what changes could be coming to the new housing projects in Sussex County.
The soaking showers we've been experiencing are staying in place for a while. More on what I'm tracking coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Walk this way. A proposal could add sidewalks to areas like this in Fenwick Island. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with DelDOT showing their first renderings that plan to fix the pathways in Fenwick Island.
In some parts of Fenwick, you'll find sidewalks, but large swaths of the road have nothing at all. And some of the existing walkways go into the grass. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us the new plans for Fenwick that are hopefully going to increase safety.
Kay Malone likes to take a little time out of her day to walk around Fenwick Island, but she wishes it was a little more structured.
Well, I walk Fenwick every day, and I usually go down Bunting and then come back Coastal Highway. But having the sidewalk extend all the way down would just be a lot safer.
On Tuesday, DelDOT and the Fenwick Island mayor held a meeting to show off their first renderings of a new sidewalk project.
We need to be safer through the use of sidewalks.
The idea is to get a little community feedback. The goal of this project is to add sidewalks that would stretch from James Street all the way to Lighthouse Road. Fenwick Island Mayor Natalie Magdeburger says this could make a big difference for the town.
In the summertime, like all of our coastal communities, we balloon, and walking, riding bikes, pedestrian type of traffic is very, very important, and we want to make sure everybody's as safe as possible.
Right now, Fenwick Island does have some sidewalks along Coastal Highway, but they don't have anything at all in other spots. To fix that, DelDOT plans to use around $3 million to finish what the town has already started.
But this is going to be the rest of the sidewalks.
Malone thinks making Fenwick Island more walkable will help everyone.
I think people staying in the hotel walk down to Matt's or some of the other businesses. So it'd be very handy for them to have a sidewalk to walk on.
If and when this project is finished, it will turn a scattered path through town into a smooth stroll along the coast. According to Mayor Magdeburger, if everything goes as planned, then construction of these sidewalks will start in 2028 and will be completely finished by 2029. I'm Kevin Zappe in Fenwick Island, CoastTV News.
Along with DelDOT funding that proposed sidewalk project, they're also looking for grant money and other forms of revenue to speed up the construction start date.
Overcrowding in schools, it's something we've heard for quite some time. Sussex County Councilman Steve McCarron brought it up at a conversation about a school impact fee for new housing projects. That would be allocated for overcrowded schools. The exact amount of that fee, if approved, it remains to be determined. Representatives from local schools spoke in favor of it today.
This isn't just a Cape Henlopen issue, this is a Sussex County issue, and this is something that I think that once we're able to move forward with this is going to impact our students and our community for generations to come.
Next up, Council will come up with a specific recommendation for that fee. They are looking at Kent County's model to start things off.
This is not the first time the school impact fee was debated before. You might remember this. Last year, County Council chose not to move forward with the proposed ordinance for a voluntary school assessment fee. Councilmember Mark Schaefer opposed it, saying the tax would impact middle and lower class individuals. Now, that issue became central in the race for Schaefer's seat, District 3, where Schaefer ultimately lost to Jane Grunenbaum, who has vocally supported such a fee. Then in October, the Cape Henlopen School District urged Council to reconsider implementing that fee.
All of this brings us to our CoastTV poll today. We want to know who should pay more in school taxes.
Let's take a look at the results so far. Take a look at your screen, and 73% say the developers should absorb that cost. 19% say all of the above, which also includes all taxpayers, state government, and out-of-state homebuyers.
And we do have a comment from Jennifer, quote, "The builders keep building, let them pay for the tax," unquote. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at coasttv.com or use the CoastTV mobile app. Voters have been hitting the polls today across Sussex County to vote in the school board elections. We are following the races in the Indian River and Cape Henlopen school districts. Polls will be open until 8 p.m. And to stay on top of tonight's races, keep connected on CoastTV.com. You can also stay tuned in tune in for tonight's Coast TV News at 11 for race results.
Tonight, Ocean City Council will go over all the complaints they have received about tents on the beach. Here are some of the concerns. One would be the tents blocking ocean views, others causing overcrowded beach areas, and overall safety and maintenance. Ocean City considering putting some rules in place, such as a ban on tents or restricting the size or location of where those tents could go on the sand.
No tents here in this image as we take a live look into Ocean City, but let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, we've had some weather coming in.
Yeah, a little bit on the light rain situation, drizzly, and kind of a dreary kind of a feel to the entire skyline. And we're going to continue with that basic pattern for the rest of the evening. But as far as the amount of rain that's accumulated, very minuscule at best. We're talking about 5/100ths of an inch of rain for us in Georgetown as well as Ocean City, and just at about a 10th for us actually in Salisbury, and just over a 10th for us actually officially in Cambridge. Now here's the latest look at how this rain is moving. It's moving from the south to the north, relatively light stuff, not picking up much in the way of isolated pockets of heavy downpours as of yet. We are expecting the heavier downpours to hit us later tonight, going to really tomorrow morning just before sunrise. And we're expecting the lion's share of the scattered showers to begin to push through. But this is part of a bigger system that's now rotating and not moving very well, not very much, but will continue to reinvent and regenerate some additional scattered showers coming in out of the south with the counterclockwise rotation that's associated with that dominant low pressure system that's now hovering and staying housed right now throughout the mid-Atlantic region, just coming out of the Ohio Valley region. Now, coming up, we will begin to decipher just how long will we be dealing with this wet road pattern. But for right now, back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Paul. Inflation cooled during April, an unexpected development for economists who expected year-over-year prices to increase or to tick higher because of Trump's tariffs. According to the April reading of the Consumer Price Index, overall consumer prices went up 2.3% year-over-year. That is the lowest annual inflation rate since February 2021. Still, analysts believe inflation could head higher and consumer spending could slow down.
What's difficult about this reading is to know whether this is going to be an honest reflection of how things are going to look for the rest of the year, or if it's even an honest reflection of the way consumers will act tomorrow.
Economists cite a few reasons for price hikes not immediately showing up in the inflation data, including significant shifts in White House policy that resulted in scalebacks or pauses on some tariffs.
As President Trump meets with leaders in Arab nations during his first official trip to the Middle East this term, a chorus of bipartisan voices rising with criticisms over a luxury jet from Qatar, offered as a gift to potentially serve as a new Air Force One. As Laura Aguirre explains, many in Congress on both sides of the aisle are raising eyebrows.
If you want President Trump to succeed, this kind of skeezy stuff needs to stop.
Not the usual tone from far-right conservative media outlets.
I do not think the President of the United States of America should sit and fly on a plane purchased with the same money used to murder American citizens.
This over the Trump administration's plan to accept a luxury 747 series Qatari jet as a potential new Air Force One.
It is influence peddling at its most outrageous and egregious.
Several supporters of the idea point to the fact that Boeing is years behind on renovating two 747 jets to serve as next-generation Air Force Ones. However, accepting a jet from an Arab nation that's also been accused of funding terrorist groups like Hamas might be over the line for some.
I can see the point, too. Is it a good look to have a Qatari aircraft?
We don't know what has happened to that plane. We don't know who's had access to it. It would require significant overhaul for all kinds of reasons.
But then there's the other question of corruption.
I understand it went through Pam Bondi, so it's legal, it's ethical.
The DOJ is putting its stamp on approval on a dubious transaction that's violating the Constitution.
The U.S. Constitution prohibits anyone holding office from receiving a present, emolument, office, or title from any, quote, king, prince, or foreign state, unless Congress approves it. And it appears there will be much more debate before that would happen.
It all raises questions about who his commitment really belongs to.
It just isn't America first in any conceivable way.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Doctors have discovered a small nodule on the prostate of former President Joe Biden. The discovery happened during a routine exam. Unclear what caused that nodule to appear. Doctors say it will be evaluated further.
It starts on the factory floor and ends with a higher price tag. Everyday items consumers can expect to pay more for.
And we're about to have wet and rainy roads for a few more days. Details coming up.
First, streets that could see improvements in Chincoteague, how town leaders are taking steps to revitalize the town. Up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
New strategies happening to improve Chincoteague. First, town leaders are working to register the downtown as a Virginia Historic District.
Officials are also hoping to join the state's Main Street program, which would give them access to grants that are aimed at revitalizing the area.
Work to establish a registered historic district, that's actually been on pause since the 90s.
But now the town's first city planner in decades is picking up where they left off.
I think having the historic district designation will help us with our Main Street designation, just because there's more resources to protect and things that deserve to be revitalized.
Town officials say that a catalog of historic buildings must be compiled and submitted to the state. Somebody from the state would then tour the area and establish boundaries before an official designation could actually be granted.
Well, granted, we're going to be dealing with some scattered showers for the next couple of days for Wednesday and Thursday in Cambridge, but that'll also lean into Friday. Let's have a detailed discussion about maybe 3 days in a row of rain. We're drizzly, we're a bit rainy, and we're going to continue with that pattern for the next few days in a row, although we're not really accumulating much in the way of amount of precipitation, but the fact that we will have precipitation over the next few days, that you can probably depend on. Our Dry-Tech camera in Ocean City, holding at about 64 degrees. Now, we're going to stay in the low 60s. We're going to stay cloudy and look for a wave of rain to begin to kind of slide through right around 7, 8, and 9 o'clock, specifically for Ocean City. We are right now in the 60s, pretty much uniformly everywhere. 61 Rehoboth Beach, but 67 in Redden, Bridgeville, Seaford, Laurel, and 66 degrees right now, Del Mar. The wind's picking up a little momentum here, moving out of the southeast up to 26 mile per hour gusts recorded at Indian River Inlet, a 21 mile per hour wind gust for us at Ocean City, and it's starting to become a little bit active and around the along the coastal area. So we have the active small craft advisory still in effect. That's when we're bracing for about 25 mile per hour winds, but that's really right along the beach line or the shoreline. So we're talking about all the beaches either going down towards small craft advisory. Excuse me, that was actually a recently issued gale wind warning. So watching out for 45 mile per hour wind gusts there as well as over towards the Cambridge area. But we also still have active concern for flood watch around our neck of the woods. And we're also going to see wave upon wave of rain that may perhaps give us a chance of some precipitation causing some flooding concerns for Delaware specifically, but not in our immediate area. Few showers for tonight with the winds gusting up to 26 miles per hour, 62 overnight for Lewis and Rehoboth, 62 also the expected low for us in Greenwood, Del Mar, and Seaford, as well as Georgetown. So look at how active it's going to be at 6:30 in the morning for Wednesday. Up towards Chestertown, we're seeing some isolated cells pop up there, but not necessarily in immediate vicinity. Now, we are looking for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at least a decent 40+% chance of rain those 3 days in a row. So we go through Wednesday early in the morning near Dewey Beach at 3 o'clock. We see it break off in some sunshine by the afternoon. For Wednesday, Thursday morning, we start off a bit cloudy. Thursday afternoon, we reach 80 degrees in Seaford, Georgetown, Millsboro, as well as Selbyville and Berlin. And then for the evening time, we stay in the 70s. The amount of rain we're talking about, still not looking overly impressive, but we could see perhaps 1.5 inches in Lewis, Rehoboth, Dewey, and Bethany Beach. So we're going to see a decent amount of dousing there. For 6 o'clock in the morning near Snow Hill, Wednesday we'll see scattered showers near Pocomoke City and Snow Hill. It'll clear out by the afternoon, giving us some sunshine. Early in the morning for Thursday, we have a decent slice of thunderstorm activity that's expected to manifest off the coast and out of the way. Now, for the next 5 days in a row, keep this in mind. We're looking at steady downpours for Wednesday, Thursday, scattered showers, early rainfall for Friday, and then begin to become spotty at best on Saturday going into Sunday. So with that being the case, look, you can see how it's going to break up for us on Thursday, and then we go into Friday, another touch of heavy showers, particularly throughout portions of southern Kent County, and then Saturday, this begins to dwindle off. Now, we're looking for slightly above normal precipitation for the next 8 to 14 days, so keep that in mind as we show you the 7-day forecast. Yeah, we're expecting 3 days of rain, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But get this, it clears out in time for your weekend.
Well, thank you. The city of Salisbury is gearing up for its third Friday festivities, but it is going to cause some roads to close. Starting at 2, Main Street from West Market Street to Division Street will be closed. Division Street from Route 50 to the Circle also closed for drivers. This Friday's event features local art, music, and vendors in downtown Salisbury, centered around a pet theme.
And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 8, we have high school softball when Mardella takes on Delmar. Then it's the final score. And coming up, from the production line to the price tag, tariffs starting to add up, how the trade war is changing what's on store shelves for everyday items. Up next.
Tariffs have already made certain everyday products more expensive. The Trump administration temporarily reduced tariffs on China, but import taxes have already made baby gear, mattresses, and other everyday products more expensive. Some companies are increasing the prices of all of their products. Many others are eliminating products rather than try to sell them at prices that either customers won't pay or competitors will undercut.
Ticketmaster has new pricing policies to improve your ticket buying experience. You're now going to be able to see all those service charges and facility fees before taxes up front. Previously, the fees were only visible at checkout. Ticketmaster says the new all-in prices address consumer concerns about hidden costs. The change was actually prompted by the Federal Trade Commission rule on unfair or deceptive fees that went into effect Monday.
New tonight, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has begun the process to take prescription fluoride tablets and drops off the market. The department announced today that ingested fluoride can alter your digestive tract. Some studies suggest drinking the chemical is associated with thyroid disorders and weight gain. The products are primarily prescribed to young children who are at a high risk of tooth decay. A safety review and public comment period is scheduled to be completed by Halloween.
And Michael Jordan is returning to the hardwood, kind of. Jordan has signed on to be an NBA special contributor for NBC. Hey, that's us. It's not clear what his exact duties will be or how often he's going to be on screen. Starting this fall, though, you can catch basketball coverage here on CoastTV News.
Let's take one more look at our CoastTV poll. We want to know who should pay more in school taxes. So far, take a look at your screen and you can see a large majority, still saying developers. Though most people for all the above, 15% saying that. And Scott Litzenberg has a comment saying, please support this fee. I've never understood why Sussex County is the only one in Delaware to not charge this fee. It's time. We will run this poll again, so you can bring it back, and we will show you the updates at 6. For now, one more look into Laurel as we check on our forecast after this.
Coming up new on CoastTV News at 6, how people took the time out of their week to honor every law enforcement agency in Sussex County. That story and more, new at 6.
Here's a pretty cool story we have for you tomorrow. 80 years ago this week, a German submarine surrendered off the coast of Lewis. Our special story, Surrender at Sea, looks at how Delaware played a role in the final days of World War II. You can catch that tomorrow night during CoastTV News at 6.
Taking a look at our situation here at Laurel, we're holding at 67 degrees with cloud cover still staying a bit on the thick side. And we're going to stay gray for the rest of the day and for the next couple of days in a row, so don't be surprised. We'll have temperatures dropping down to 65 with a few scattered showers sneaking into the Laurel area by 8 and 9 o'clock. At least steady light showers is what we're expecting actually over the period of time. Here's a look at your 3-day beach forecast. We're looking for 77 on Wednesday and on Thursday, but then 82 degrees and more scattered showers possibly for us in Chincoteague. As we go towards Ocean City, we're going to go from 68 to 71. Still expecting a chance of rain both of those days, but we're looking at it going up to 75 on Friday. And then, as far as Friday is concerned, Lewis and Rehoboth watching out for 3 days of rain. Our umbrella winner is Marvel Ortiz of Bridgeville. Congratulations. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
We'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.